So that's where a 5-year-old, 6-year-old mind goes. Yeah, they're always after me about slowing down, and this is why, and this is how. It's so funny how his brain works.
That's very interesting. That's a great one, Larry.
Now, another one of my favorites, how your 6-year-old brain works, is the very first couple pages of Axe Cop Volume 2, the very first issue of Axe Cop.
Wait, Larry, you got to keep in our volume.
Oh, okay, so we're still in Volume 1. You didn't read Volume 2?
No, I'm just saying, like,
oh, okay.
We got a lot of Axe Cop to cover in this very...
We certainly do.
We've been going all over with this Axe Cop, because really, that's Axe Cop style. You're going all over. Every page, all of a sudden, there's a different problem to be solved.
Right.
No regard for the past ones.
What was his... Yeah, so the Axe Cop is absolutely my favorite. And I think I really, really enjoy Ethan's art here. And we haven't talked about what Axe Cop looks like or his mode of transportation.
Well, so he's kind of almost like a computer, like manipulate, like it almost seems like he's a cut and paste type character. Do you know what am I off here, Larry?
I don't know what you mean by that. I think he kind of looks like what you would think a cop looks like. Bushy mustache,
like
sunglasses.
Square jaw that's like as wide as his head. Aviators, this is like 6-pointed cop hat. Yeah, short sleeve.
Very muscly.
There's maybe transformations where other things become cops, and they just give him the sunglasses and the hat and the mustache, and then it's like, oh, it's the same. He's like the same. He's a cop. He's an ex-cop now.
Yeah. Oh, I guess I really want to get into Volume 2 because when he starts, but let's talk about. So Axe Cop is asked which would be his favorite dinosaur. And the question is already answered. We already know that his favorite dinosaur is his pet dinosaur that he rides, who is a Tyrannosaurus Rex, who has no arms, but instead of arms has machine guns.
Great substitution.
Right, and he also can fly.
Well, you got to be able to fly if you're a dinosaur, you know?
And this is also this also opens up the door.
Cops don't fly.
Cops don't fly. This also kind of opens the door to, is this an all-ages book? Because there's some gore in here. People do die. Bad guys die. And
but there is a lot of, not letting people die, and instead they're, stunned or something.
They're stunned, or they get faint bombs and faint bullets.
Exactly.
They get shot with faint bullets. That's a 6-year-old mind right there. But one of my favorite aspects of this is, and it shows it in kind of a real great detail, like the Tyrannosaurus Rex is fed by bad guys. Like Axe Cop feeds them bad guys.
Yeah. Is that good?
I don't know. Is that all ages? It seems a little
brutal. Yeah, I guess all ages. How old are you when you can read a comic book?
This is an all ages comic. I mean...
Yeah, as close as you can get.
As close as you can get.
And still have some action in it.
Right.
You gotta at least have bad guys. Especially when they're like as generic as actually being called bad guys.
Right. Yeah.
Like that couldn't be more like generalized, not targeting a specific anything.
Right. So Axe Cop, actually going back to that gore factor, Axe Cop actually slices a guy in half on his razor blade. He has a gun that shoots a razor blade, and then he rides the razor blade, and then it...
Oh, you gotta have guns that shoot other weapons. That's a staple.
Oh, and also Axe Cop will not let you join your team if you punch yourself in the face. Like,
well,
what does that mean?
I think think I got to agree with him there. You're out of my squad too if that's happened.
Oh man. Chuck Norris gets eaten by the dinosaur. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. The spoilers for this can hardly even happen because like you're introduced to a problem at the beginning of the page, and at the next page it's like they might not have solved it, but they've moved on.
It's over. Well, another fun one is again, Ethan explains his brother's thinking in this when what would you do, Axe Cop, if you were the president? And he says, well, I would get if you're rich.
Wait.
Go on.
Wait, first, what is your answer?
To be president?
To the question that he asked Ethan, or that he asked Malachi.
Dear Axe Cop, if you were rich, what would you do? Anonymous.
Yeah, dear Larry, if you were rich, what would you do?
See, I'm 46. I don't have an answer for that. But Ethan does have an answer. Or Malachi does have an answer for that. In the
voice of the moon.
In the voice of Axe Cop, he builds and lives in a cabin or in a castle. He has a magic wand.
I should have thought of that.
He faints all the dead people, or he makes all the dead people go, or all the bad guys go to sleep. Or die. Then he goes into outer space.
That's a smart thing to do. Oh, outer space, that was mine.
Where he turns all the aliens into bad guys, so then he can kill them. Because, and I'll get back to that in a second. And then he sleeps for a year. He wakes up on his birthday, and he gives Wii players to all of the world whilst flying a broom, Harry Potter style.
My favorite part is that he wakes up on his birthday, and then he gives out the presents.
Yeah. So Ethan comes back to this and says that his brother asked him if aliens are real and are they bad guys, and he couldn't give him a straight answer. You know, a grown man can't give a straight answer to the little kid. I don't know if they're bad guys. So he quantifies this by making them bad guys so he could kill them. They're all bad guys.
You gotta have bad guys out there.
Yeah. And then he's bored.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you gotta have a lot of characters in this to keep him entertained.
I did not read the back matter and the process, but I did want to know, whilst he was drawing and doing this and working with his brother, like, there's got to be a certain amount of guidance towards getting...
some kind of consistency.
Exactly. And do they...
being able to go back and, like, ask questions and that kind of thing.
Yeah, do they go that direction?
Well, one of the big things he did that I thought was smart was he made each one of the characters in the story is a toy that he has. That maybe he's given a name or combined some features or, like, given them powers in a certain thing. But that way it really, like, makes those characters concrete, and he's not like constantly switching around the characters who is what. So
he's developed his own Axe Cop toy.
Yeah, exactly. And the dinosaur and the hammer and all the whatevers. Okay. And then what he did is he tried to do the same thing with the planets. So there's a lot of like different, he goes to like Psychic Planet or Unicorn Planet or whatever they are. And so instead of like every time there's a crazy new planet, there's at least like a system of planets that maybe that's where different characters are from, or that's where you could go to if you're looking for a planet to go to. And then he did the same thing with time periods. So it'd be like Dinosaur Age, Age of 0,000, right now. And so that way it wasn't like, that way there were like consistencies within setting and character, which kudos to him. That was a great idea.
Yeah.
It seemed like it worked.
I love the book. I couldn't take more than, and I think this is kind of me just being like, wow, I don't know if I could sit and read this entirety in one sitting.
No, it's definitely a lot to take in. Or like it takes some significant brain randomness filtering.
And Volume 2 kind of even starts out in that. Volume 2 starts out just straight out the gate. Dinosaur Soldier and Axe Cop go for breakfast, and Axe Cop is thirsty, and he takes a sip of water. He drinks half a glass of water when Hammer...
It's this... Hammer guy's like, hey, you just drank out half a cup guy's brain.
So funny. And then he says...
It really sets the tone right there.
It sets the tone, doesn't it? And then he says, ask him a question.
Yeah, to see if he's stupid.
To see if he's stupid. To say stupid. To ask a question. What's 2 plus 2? To find out if you're stupid is such a 6-year-old thing to say.
Oh, definitely. Well, and even just like you can tell where different phrases are, directly quoted from him.
Yeah. And
so that's a perfect example.
And poor Cup Man is stupid now. He doesn't know the answer of the 2 plus 2.
Yeah, it's a zillion.
And he's just, oh no. And,
a jillion. Jillion, sorry.
But then from there, it's just like, well, we don't have time to pour the water back into this cup.
Time to move on. Hey, look out the window. There's a big green planet thing.
And sure enough,
gotta go explode it.
We have to go explode it. But the regular cops, normal cops.
Oh, I love this when normal cops tried to take down Axe Cop.
Yeah, normal cops have normal rules, and it comes straight from the rules. Cops use guns. They don't have axes.
They don't have axes, and cops don't fly.
Also, cops don't go back in time, or they don't go to other planets.
Yeah, what is he thinking here?
But
it gave us a little cool backstory as to how Axe Cop became an Axe Cop, or even what that is.
Yeah, how to be a cop with an axe.
It didn't give a lot of detail, but you could tell that it was a line of questioning, hey, this could be valuable to the story if I ask about how Axe Cop came to be.
Yeah.
And he got some, he had to go to Axe Cop school, of course.
Well, he also had to
but nobody was there, so he had to train to the empty studio with the pictures on the wall.
Right. So he, one page of that, and we know exactly what Axe Cop, where he came from, and how he came to be. And Axe Cop quickly foils with his partner, Dinosaur Soldier, quickly foils the normal cops because normal cops are stupid.
Well,
they're dumb.
If they were smart, they'd be an Axe Cop.
Right, and
it's a smart thing to do.
They throw a faint bomb out the window, and all the cops faint. And
I never think of bomb.
And then Axe Cop steals their tires. So there's just no there's no catching Axe Cop if you don't have tires and you're asleep.
Yeah, exactly. I would have just let the air out, but he went for the whole shebang.
What happens next? It just goes on and on, kind of in that vein. They got to figure out why this planet's coming. They know that it's a bad guy planet, and they blast off for a bad guy planet in order to shoot it with a shrink bomb.
You got to cut it in half too. It's the only way to destroy a planet, Larry, of course.
I love the scene where they get the bomb, and first of all, the bomb is really small, but then they make it big somehow.
There's a lot of getting big and small type action going on,
and they blow up the bad guy planet. And I love and I know that this is the warnings and the I call it chicken fat. The little side jokes.
Yeah.
The side jokes are the best and I know that those came from.
They're just out of left field. They're so out of left field, Larry.
Yeah. So you see on the on the screen, warning, flying bad guys, and of course here comes the bad guy in a jet, and these aren't bad guys. These are good guys. This is our army.
You.
This is our army.
Good guys.
And the army takes down Axe Cop,